recording.
Okay, I'll restart.
Thank
You
you.
tell me when it.
Go ahead.
I'd like to call a meeting to order Monday, October 18th, 2021. Would you please do the roll call?
Larson.
Here.
Rick Larson.
Here.
Silkworth. Here. Weedy. Here. Lane Leaders.
Here.
Let the record show that all members are present.
You have had a chance to read the minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes or make corrections?
I move to approve.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved, seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Okay, I'd like to read a statement. Public hearing will be conducted pursuant to the commission rules of procedure. We'll first hear the report of the planning director on the detailed information and observations regarding the request before the commission, if not done so in written form prior to the hearing. Next, we'll take testimony of the applicant on his or her witnesses. Upon completion of the applicant's testimony, I will call upon members of the audience wishing to be heard concerning the request. Persons in favor of the request shall be heard first, followed by those opposed to it. At any time during the presentation of the testimony, the members of the commission may interrupt to ask questions or to make comments on what has been said. Upon completion of the testimony, the applicant will be allowed to make a closing statement to the commission. Upon completion of the applicant's closing statement, I'll entertain motion from the commission to close the public hearing upon the request. The commission reserves the right to ask questions of any member of the audience. However, we will not hear any unsolicited statements unless the public hearing is first reopened. Each speaker addressing the commission shall step forward to the podium and state their name and address before proceeding with their testimony or evidence. The commission shall not be bound by strict rules of evidence, but reserves the right to exclude evidence or testimony that it may deem to be irrelevant, immaterial, incompetent, or unduly repetitious. As chairman, I will rules on all questions relating to the admissibility of evidence, which may be overruled by the majority of the commission. Continuance of it may be granted by the commission in case for good cause shown to any interested party who has entered in their appearance. The commission may request a continuance of the hearing for the purposes of giving further notice, taking further evidence, gathering further information, touring the proposed site, or for such other reasons as the commission may find sufficient. In such case, we shall state the specific reasons for the continuance and set a date, time, and place when the matter will be continued. All official actions of the commission will be made public at the meeting by the motion made, seconded, and polling of the membership. If conditions are imposed, such conditions shall be included in the motion or admitted thereto. Our final decision will be prepared in writing and will be part of the public record of the commission. Okay. Upon the hearing, I'd like to ask for a motion for the public hearing to be open. In the case of ZMA-2021-02.
I move to open the public meeting.
Do we have a second?
I second it.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Public hearing is now open.
Okay. So John Tarks, I thought he said he was going to be here, but he's not here yet. He is proposing, it's right across from Jack Link's in Underwood, which is in the city of Underwood. It's a 44-acre piece of property. He's proposing a warehouse. Currently, the operation is in the city of Underwood, Midline, what the heck is it called?
Through the rented building.
Midline Min, I think.
Thank you.
And it's
Yes.
rented in that building.
Yep, they lease it. It's in the city, like I said. The rent went up and it's in a flood zone, so he decided he would just buy this property. Well, I'm sure not just him, but the company would buy the property and construct that business on this property. But it's in this county, so it needs to be rezoned.
Does it have jurisdiction within the Underwood, since it's so far within the city limits?
I sent them a notice that they could come. They don't have any,
Rule.
they can comment, but they have nothing to say about, how the building would be constructed
Okay.
or anything like that. But
So is it considered then urban transitional because it's within a half mile of the city?
yes, yep. But then this is from our comp plan which explains urban transitional areas. And it says, lands within half-mile of each of the cities should be in the area of consideration for non-farm rural dwellings and commercial and industrial uses. Then if you go to industrial uses, half-mile of the communities, or in specific rural areas along railroad or highway corridors, which it is on railroad highway and it's near I-20 or I-80. So,
And then it could annex it too, right? The city could? at
and
one
they
point in
may,
time? Most likely,
yeah,
for tax revenue.
because we talked to Cindy, the city clerk, and they were going to discuss it with the city council.
So is
I
that
mean-
I-1 or is that L1? I can't. Okay.
I-1. Yeah, so it may get annexed, Jack Links, I think that was county at one time. And then that whole
the city
strip
grows.
along there, they annexed.
Talking about growth a little bit, if, and that probably doesn't happen with zoning requests, but if the city or the county needed additional right-of-way, that would come through with the development plan? I'm just thinking about trail connections and pedestrian ways.
Gotcha.
Right-of-ways, I'm
Um,
just curious if this has been identified as any of those connectors.
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, I think they would have to meet any setbacks anyway, and then,
They
I don't
do.
know. I know, because I'm on the Trails Committee, so I know we're planning a trail, but that is city limits across where Jack Links is at there. And the plan is for the trail to go along on that side,
On the east side of the
on the
railroad.
east side instead of the west side, so,
Well, I thought the railroad highway was a trail,
yeah.
proposed trail connector. Sometimes these developments get created without much pedestrian or trail access to them. And when I think about how convenient it would be for someone to be able to ride their bicycle or to walk from Underwood to a job at a industrial site,
Versus riding on the highway and getting ran over.
right?
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
walking on the
Well, I
highway.
was just hoping that they'd make the trails wider because there's more bikes on the highways and then we could use the trails as cars.
Yeah, we could, yeah.
Okay, well, there's the applicant.
All right, well, we should have that.
Okay, so we open up the public hearing. So if you'd like to come up and state your name, address, and present your case of what you want to do.
Perfect.
I briefly filled them in on,
What's moving and shaking here?
yeah.
Yeah, John Turks. Address is McClellan, 29507 Juniper Road. My wife and I own Midline Feed and Seed Dealership with warehouse currently out of Underwood. I have a rental property there that we're working with. Looking to purchase some ground there south of town. Looking to build a new warehouse facility with bulk seed site. There's a 40-acre parcel there that we've purchased, and there's 11 acres there, I think, as we've looked through some of the maps that we're looking to build that on. I have copies of different plans, the building plans, the bin site plans, as well as electrical, plumbing, and the office layout.
So right now, we're just approving the zoning
Yes.
and then follow up when his building and what he proposes.
That'll just come
Separate
through our
case.
office,
right.
the planning office.
Okay,
Yep.
any questions?
How many people will work there?
My wife and I, we've got another bookkeeper, and then seasonal help can be 2 to 3, full-time help can be 2 to 3.
So will anything change as far as employees from your current location? So it'd be the same?
No,
you're
it's-
just-
And when I say employees, that also encompasses our farming operation, trucking and livestock operation, and, but yeah, the facility itself, its usage will be for seed treating, and then feed. The building will divide into thirds, and it's gonna be a 120 by 270, a third for feed, a third for soybeans and soy treatment, and then a third for corn. And I think corn over treatment's probably a growing sector of business that will happen there, so.
You do
Anyway.
all that stuff currently at the
Yeah.
other location, so it's not.
The corn over
It's not anything any different.
No, the corn over treatment's a new thing, but it's nothing, I mean, it's seed treatment. It's just going into the corn route of it now too, so, no, there's nothing new there. Just be a new facility in town that I think the locals are even kind of excited about, and, so yeah.
Any questions? Everybody good? Okay, you're good. Anybody else from the audience want to speak?
Yeah.
For or against?
In favor or against?
And are you in favor or against?
Against.
Okay, then just step forward, state your name and address.
David Ricky Scott, 266 99 280th Street, Underwood.
Okay.
I own the adjoining 40 acres to the north of this 11 acres.
Okay.
So we're concerned about flooding, potential flooding, and am I liable for water to come down on him? So where do I stand?
So-
And I mean, I don't feel that I should be behind the 8 ball there.
Yeah, I agree.
Is this in the flood zone?
A portion of his property, of what he's planning to
So you-
purchase is in the flood zone,
you're
but
saying-
not where he's putting the building.
You're saying runoff from your property onto his property, right? So you're saying
Yeah,
his,
right north.
so you're saying the water.
I have some flat and then I have some hill.
And you're concerned with the water on your property run into his property, he's
Yes.
liable. So that's, any suggestions on that, or is that another case to be heard?
That's, I mean, that's a DNR,
DNR, it's outside our scope, right?
yes.
So that's outside our scope, so that's the
Yeah.
only thing, right now, we're just doing zoning, not building. So we're
Yeah,
just
okay.
saying, so today, we're just
I'm just
rezoning it.
telling him my point of view.
Right, so it's concerned, and I would too, because if you have a building and this guy, I had the same thing in Colorado, I'm giving an example. Development, new house, all the flood waters coming around my house, I had a moat. And my view is, hey, you gotta figure something out, that's the way it's designed. I'm like, well, you can re-engineer it to figure out where you get the water away. And you're saying DNR is the people they need to work with, because you don't want water running on your
No,
property. You
and
can't hold
that's-
him against it.
No.
It's like, okay, when you do your plot layout, your
Yeah.
site development, your engineers are gonna determine where that water needs to go. Hopefully it's around the way.
Completely sensitive to that, cause we got flooded out of our warehouse where we're currently at 3 years ago, and our parking lot's been park pond, it feels like forever, so we have no interest in ever reliving that again. We wanna put our building in the far northeast corner of the property, which is clearly out of the flood zone. It should mitigate some of what Rick's concerned about, but in the same breath, there's dirt work and engineering that can be done to also mitigate this that we wanna make sure takes place.
So with you two working together and the DNR, right, is that something you're willing to commit?
Absolutely.
And would you will commit to him?
Well, I don't feel financially
Well, yeah,
contributing to this, you know.
right, it's something that,
Okay. The ball should land in his court.
and based on what he says is what?
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that.
You want me to
And I
show
agree
you
with
what
Rick.
mine is?
Sure. So this is his property.
He's across Magnolia Road.
And this is what he's talking.
So this is your property,
Yeah.
so the quarter right north of his.
Yeah,
Okay.
40 acres. Or 39 or so.
So
That's road
that's-
right away. And so that drainage way that kind of bisects the Turk's property, kind of splits your property that developed the 44 acres into these sort of two pieces, kind of, doesn't it? And serves as the drainage way that it goes through your piece as well. the neighbor's
Correct.
piece, right?
If you get south of the proposed site, there's a drainage ditch that goes down through there, correct?
And then under the railroad and
Yep.
it looks like, and then it keeps on going.
So right now, the DNR, so like you have concern, so I'm assuming the county will say, hey, what's the DNR say when you review this
Well,
case, right?
When he applies for his building permit, he'll
Uh-huh.
have a grading permit with it.
Right,
Depending upon how much he's disturbing dictates the threshold of if DNR needs to get involved with the grading permit.
Okay.
Then, if there's problems thereafter in regards to flooding or floodway, then that's when DNR would.
so you have the
get
county
involved.
standards and then DNR, if you wanna be proactive, I would recommend that, to
Contact
contact
him.
DNR and then work with him.
Yeah.
So have a game plan, is that adequate for you?
I guess it has to be.
Cause right now, we're not proposing building, we're just doing the zoning.
Rezoning.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then when they reapply, that's when you could come back and like, hey, this doesn't work because no one's worked with you and this is gonna flood, I'm not gonna be financially, so
Yeah,
that's,
I mean, I just don't wanna
right,
Yeah.
good concern,
think that I gotta build a
right. And be financially
Dike.
liable, right.
quarter of a mile long.
It's my understanding that if you don't change the land use on your property, I mean, if you keep it as a farm, you're contributing water today, you'll be contributing water tomorrow. Mother Nature may give us all more than we want at any time.
Yeah, well, okay.
And that is not your.
No, I'm not gonna build a,
Yeah. Now, if you do decide to build on your property and you aggravate the drainage problem, then there might be some consideration, but even that is
yeah.
is
Well,
unusual.
we don't have any plans at this
Yeah.
time.
Should be good, he's willing to work with you, then we have that next meeting when they do the proposed, site.
No, you guys don't have a meeting.
No, I know, but if we have a meeting for the,
No, the supervisors will have a meeting.
Oh,
yeah, the county, that's what I meant.
yeah, the Board of Supervisors. This will then go to them.
Yes.
Yep.
But that'll be fairly quickly.
Any other concerns or questions that you
No,
have,
I
or
just-
do you guys have any?
He just wants to make sure he doesn't have to build a $2 million dam to hold the water out.
Makes sense, I wouldn't either.
Or $2 then.
Or a $2 dam, that's right.
No,
worry
no, no, 6 trillion.
$6 trillion.
Get your standards
I
higher.
gotta get my government calculator out,
Huh?
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. That's a
You
good
know what
comeback.
regime we're in, don't you?
Well, thanks for your time.
Thank you for voicing your concern.
No, totally understand, Rick.
Okay, anybody else questions? If not.
I'll make a motion to close public hearing.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody against? Okay, ayes have it. Staff's recommendations.
We would recommend that it be approved because it fits within the land use plan.
Okay.
Fits within our comprehensive plan.
And it makes sense. As long as the water issue, yep.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, and then we need to do, okay, anybody, make, roll call then, right? You have to do a roll call?
Yep.
Okay,
Rick Larson,
Aye.
Silkworth,
Aye.
Brett Larson,
aye,
Weedy. Aye. Lynn.
Aye.
Leaders.
okay,
Yes.
motion carries. Is there any further discussion, and is there a motion to entertain to adjourn the meeting unless we have further?
No further business.
I move to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
Second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Adjourned. Good luck, just work with him.
Yeah, no problem.